Hello YouTubers, this is noobifier. Welcome to what can be seen as part 2 of the ObsBot product review. As I said in the last video that's linked up for you right now, ObsBot makes 2 DOF gimbal pointable auto tracking stabilized webcams. That description doesn't do it justice though, because of how well it's actually able to track. All models do the same basic baseline things and they perform these tasks the same way. Depending on the model, the features such as resolution and sensor size change, and today in this video I'm going to explore how the flagship Tail Air has added production level features that have not been seen in one device like this. These pro features do come at a higher cost though, but if you're seeking this level of hardware, you usually don't mind because it's part of a business such as streaming, or you have a specific result in mind. So please sit back and relax as we take a look at what the future looks like, because when I looked at the product card for this, I was shocked to see how far the simple webcam had evolved in the past 3 years. AI hand gesture controls, and this is where you can instruct the camera to perform functions through hand signals. AI auto tracking, where the camera will track the subject automatically and persist despite complex obstacles such as low light, very bright lights, multiple subjects, or rapidly moving subjects. A wide clear image, highly polished software, solid construction, and some of them even have AI voice control enabled, which allows you to instruct the camera to perform basic functions by speaking to the camera. Your primary use case for the smaller units will be a webcam, but there's no reason why you couldn't use these webcams as part of a basic live stream or podcast setup. In my time using the Tail Air though, I quickly realized it's no joke. Optical quality, native multi-camera streaming, many control connectivity options, numerous wired and wireless video connectivity options, and complex environment mitigation, which is just a fancy way of saying that you can easily use it anywhere. The optical quality is only outperformed when compared to my mirrorless cameras that I have in the studio with real glass. This is now my next best looking video camera choice within the studio. The large lens is an f1.8 aperture autofocusing array, which is paired with a large image sensor. Its multi-element optics allow it to focus at very short ranges, and it even has an infrared blaster incorporated into the housing to focus in very low light. When tested in daylight, I was able to get true-to-life colors when shooting in an outdoor wedding. Despite being a mixed overcast day, I was impressed with its ability to deal with the changing brightness, and it produced a great video that needed almost no correction. I was able to stream the entire outdoor wedding for people who were unable to make it there, and I was able to do it from different vantages. And at that wedding, using the onboard SD card, I was able to record the event at the source, which would help when editing a final video of the event. When tested indoors during a gaming event, I was able to get noise-free images, and the colors were once again appropriate and true to life. The focus was able to quickly pick up the subject, and it dealt nicely with the backlighting from the windows. It does a great job of capturing what you see. And then I tested them indoors during my own live streams. I consider parts of my studio to be a hostile environment for photography with RGB lights everywhere. With careful placement of some key lights, I was very happy with the results. Once again, the Tail Air with its large sensor, wide aperture, and autofocus is able to produce a clean stream that's only rivaled by my mirrorless cameras. For streaming, I no longer feel the need to rely on fixed cameras and capture cards to get a quality that I look for, plus the cameras track and are wireless, which speeds up setup and teardown. Because of the motion systems that I use, I feel the AI auto tracking is a huge advantage to keep me in frame. The motion systems, when not in use, park, and I drop about 10 centimeters when this happens. The AI tracking is able to compensate and frame me perfectly. Some situations during a live stream or a conference call may have you moving, either to adjust your seating or completely move out of the shot. You could be doing a product unboxing behind a standing desk, and once again, the AI is able to make positional adjustments in real time. So I will quickly summarize that the optical quality leaves nothing to be desired when set to auto, and you do have the ability to take full manual control over brightness, contrast, saturation, and you can even lock to manual focus. The 4K sensor was able to produce a super clean 30 frames per second in very complex situations, and you're also able to jump to 60 at 1080. I tested the wireless tail ecosystem with 3 cameras operating at once through the app and controlled by the remote. This is best achieved when all of the devices are attached to the same Wi-Fi router, but direct connection is also an available option. The wireless streaming standard known as NDI can be used for up to 4 streams in OBS. So it's my belief that you could actually operate 4 of these wirelessly in one stream. The tail air has external HDMI, so in theory, the number of cameras is only limited to the number of capture cards. You could mix and match, with some connected by NDI in awkward places, and others could be connected by wire with HDMI, PoE Cat6, or even USB Type-C. Through the mobile app, you're quickly able to initialize and connect multiple cameras. You can give each a unique ID for easy setup, and then each time you power on the camera, it's there ready to be used. The mobile app is ready to connect to all of the standard streaming services, and it allows for a completely portable setup that can be used anywhere with a Wi-Fi or a 5G connection. And that is how I captured the outdoor wedding to an SD card, but I also was able to live stream it. When streaming sim racing, I have a camera on my face, one for overview of the studio and another that's following the motion sim. But when streaming an FPS game, I may have a camera on my face, one for the overview, and then I position a second camera on my face, but from a different angle, allowing me to switch things up. And when I challenge a friend to a race, I now have the flexibility to quickly set up a camera on each of us for the stream. And this leads nicely into control connectivity options. Controlling the camera offers the most flexibility. By hand or by voice, you're able to ask each individual camera to start, stop recording, or begin tracking. The tail air is able to track people, pets, and objects. By hand or by voice, you can ask each individual camera to zoom in or out. That method does get the job done, but perhaps that's something that you'd like to do before streaming, before your audience is able to see, because it may be a little bit distracting. And this is where the remote is convenient, and this lets me make all of the adjustments with minimal disruption. If I'm about to take a break, or perhaps I'm switching setup for an interview, I now have total control through the app or with this remote. The remote mirrors the control features that are found in the app in the following ways. If you have 3 cameras, you have hotkeys that allows you to switch between up to 3 connected cameras. The buttons change color to let you know in real time what cameras are connected and which camera is selected. There's a joystick to manually aim the selected camera in real time. There's a zoom rocker to manually zoom the selected camera in real time. And once you have the scene that you want, you can push and hold one of the 3 memory recall buttons to set the location. You may change the scene again and hold the next and repeat for the 3rd time if needed. By pressing the 3 memory buttons, you will restore the aim and the zoom that you programmed, and that you can do for all 3 cameras if you have 3 running. So you have seamless transitions, and you can program them on the fly. Change scenes from camera 1 to camera 2, move camera 1, and then transition back. Very, very powerful stuff. In a matter of minutes, I was proficient with managing the entire stream with the remote and a simple stream deck. Video connectivity options continue to offer pro-level features. First, using the included USB-A to USB-C, you can connect and operate the tail air like a regular webcam, and it'll also charge it. You can connect up to 3 at once on one computer and control them in the software for multi-camera Zoom calls or a single PC streaming setup. Second, using the PoE adapter, you're able to connect over very long distances through the Ethernet. The PoE, or Power over Ethernet adapter, includes a USB port to keep the tail air charged and operating 24/7. Third, you may connect tail air directly through a mini HDMI output, and I have adapted this to a full HDMI port and then connected directly into a capture card. Some locations may not have a reliable Wi-Fi, or perhaps, like that outdoor wedding, you don't have control over it. So that situation is basic and lacks bandwidth. With HDMI output, you're able to offload the network and also ensure that you don't get any drops. You're able to record directly onto the SD card, and this provides you a full resolution backup or provides you flexibility when totally off the grid. You start and stop recording by making the OK hand sign. And fifth is the most important and the most interesting, which is full NDI support. NDI is an encrypted means of transmitting video feeds. It's used very widely for security cameras, but in this application, it allows you to stream fully wireless 4K with full quality. The range and location that your camera can be is no longer limited by a wire because the coverage is just the coverage of your Wi-Fi network. When enabled and configured properly, an NDI-enabled camera will auto-handshake with your network and then just make itself available. Multiple receivers are able to see the NDI source at once, and in my experience, this boot-up pairing takes about 15 seconds. NDI on a PC can be used as OBS, Skype, Teams, Discord. All of these will see your tail air as if it was any other webcam feed. I don't stream every day, so I usually set up and tear down anytime I stream, and knowing that camera 1 is normally aimed at my face and camera 2 is normally generally an overview camera and 3 is just an extra, that allows me to quickly set up, power up, and operate wirelessly on battery. And if you think your stream is going to last longer than the battery, you just plug it into a battery bank or a wall plug. I absolutely fell in love with NDI when I first tested the Mevo cameras from Logitech, and you will too. The tail air when connected through a capable router supports all 3 cameras at once, and I never experienced drops or little wiggles in the feed. Within OBS, the cameras always connect in the order that they were last used, so if one drops because you're streaming to a dead battery, all you need to do is plug it in and power it up again. 15 seconds later, the image is restored with no need to cycle anything in OBS. Of all the things that this camera does well, I think the best thing it does is its flexibility. You're able to stream anything almost anywhere in full sun or low light, static or moving targets, one view, or a dynamic multi-view. The range of ways that you can connect to this is a big part, but they also sell chest rigs, tripod mounts, and even a suction mount. So when it's active, the camera will also try to stabilize itself like some kind of basic action cam. I put mine on a hand grip and went for a walk to test it out, and it worked fine as long as you keep it vertical. I put mine on a suction mount and went for a drive to test it out, and it also worked fine. Its gimbal is aware of the changes and will try to react quickly, and then you can go one step further and activate its AI subject tracking. It's actually quite good in this capacity, but in my opinion, you should see this as a great side effect rather than a primary core feature. So to paraphrase, if you need an action camera, just go buy one. This is fine. So as we come to the end, if you believe that I didn't cover the software to the level of detail that you wanted, the first video is linked up for you right now, and it'll also be linked up at the end. The Tail Air is a super powerful multi-purpose auto-tracking 4K camera, but its range of features, connectivity, battery, and supporting hardware, it stands out as top of the market. I've reviewed so many devices in this segment, and this one offers layers of flexibility that are begging you to find creative ways on how to exploit that flexibility. Weddings, conventions, streaming, blogging, or just use it as the absolute most overkill webcam for your desk. Thanks to ObsBot for providing me the opportunity to test this ecosystem, and it's probably obvious that the Tail Air has replaced all other streaming gear as part of my dynamic setup. There's a promo code and links in the description that'll save you money. Post up your own testimonials or comments in the comments where they belong. Let us know if you've used this type of camera and what you think. Capture safe.